we got the first information really about the next upgrades for the machine structure deck. And if you guys keep up with this channel, you know I'm massively disappointed after this disappointment of gadget support. This isn't even gadget support, this is like a whole sub-archetype of just disappoint-a-roni. So we're gonna speculate and talk about the next machine structure deck and just kind of be curious to see what is to come here. So we got into discussion on Machina Colonel, shall we? I think it's his name, or it's Colonel. However. Alright, so the picture you are seeing here is the first image of Machine Colonel. And I am extremely... I'd be lying if I was not a little bit on the fence about, like, this potentially not being good support. On the other hand, anytime we get a handout for really anything that could potentially, you know, affect gadgets, and I'm always like, yes, this could do something. So the last disappointment of a structure deck that we had was whatever that warrior mess is, the revival of the Gemini structure deck. Now, they gave really good cards, like the Gearfried Boss Monster, or whatever his name is. That card is really good, alright? But the rest of the support isn't the best. I get what they were going for with it. They were trying to, you know, wrap equips, wrap the Gemini monsters. They were trying to bring that all into one archetype. I don't think that they really knew what they were aiming for with the release of that structure deck. So that's honestly why I was very disappointed in that, because you could have done more, but instead you did less. And then we come into the Shadal structure deck. We see that we've done the same thing here. Though this was the voted on structure deck, we saw that they wanted to make more main deck cards for the deck. And Nadell and things are pretty good. And here's to say that we're not going to not make more support for this, because Konami's notorious for releasing a structure deck and then they creep in other cards into core sets. So just because you're disappointed with a structure deck, you know, case in point, they released the support card for, you know, the last structure deck in V-Jump. You know, who's not to say that we won't get more than just what is being labeled here for machines. So the last two structure decks, I mean, the Shadal one was the infinitely better one. And, you know, we finally arrive to the machine structure deck. Now, that's just the little, yeah, we've been disappointed in the past. Now, the last machine structure deck we had brought us Fortress. And Fortress, I have so many good memories of that card. Fortress was one of the cards that really made gadgets. They gave them a boss monster that could ram, and if it was targeted, you know, you got to rip something from the opponent's hand. They also gave them, you know, Gear Frame, which was the on-summon search for your boss monster. And at that time, that was insane. Like, honestly, the machine support was one of the best structure decks I think that we had for its time. But, you know, they've been following up with good trends and adding good support. So when I see this next line of support, I'm like, okay, so every other Machina unit that we had from, what was it, Peacekeeper was the little guy that floated into Gear Frame. This deck also uses the Union mechanic, and every time I see the Union mechanic, it hurts me. It hurts me soul. Alright, it's garbage, but you know, it was from the time that, yes, the deck did use that. So the extra Machina stuff that we had besides Peacekeeper and Gear Frame and Fortress, we had all the little Cannoneer guy and things like that. It was from like an older premium pack from Japan that we got imported in the set, and I think there's everything from that is absolutely terrible. I can't necessarily say that I would be excited to see them ramp up that old support, because that would just be horrible. I'm personally not looking forward to. Please do not, whatever you do with this new support, do not support the old really bad stuff from that structure deck, because there was some really, really bad stuff in there. Now that being said, though, so we need to upgrade Gear Frame. Gear Frame was a very good card. I mean, an easier to summon Gear Frame would tickle my pickle in a fantastic way. But the problem is, you're almost going to have to make something along the lines of Search 2 at this point. Because the problem with Machina Fortress was, yeah, you could discard itself, but you always had to fetch out the other monster to feed it. And that's where things kind of went south for the deck, was once we started getting these more adequate boss monsters, you couldn't really feed into, these guys. So whatever we're doing for the new boss monster, one, if we have to play Fortress, alright. I mean, the best deck right now to even play Fortress, or to even mess around with the concept of it, has been Orcust. But by the time we get this structure deck, Fortress is... Orcust will be dead. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. And I mean, yeah, Fortress being a large boss monster is great, but like, considering Old Fortress was, I believe he was level 7, so whatever this artwork here is symbolizing, it's gonna have more stars than 7, because this is supposed to be, the big bad boss monster. Now, we had the last evolution with this deck, and it was what, Megaform? And Megaform was just the mode change for our boy, Fortress. Literally just, what's this thing do? Tribute this card special summon one Machina from your hand or deck except for Megaform. If a Machina Fortress you control sends to the graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, except during damage, banish one Machina Fortress from your graveyard to special summon this card. Okay, cool. So it literally revives itself. That's not even that good. It lone fires into a fortress. Ugh. Please, whatever you do, I ask you this again. Please do not make Colonel have to involve, if you're going to make it involve with anything, make it involve with Fortress and not Mega Fleet, or really any of the other bad support that we had. I really liked the synergy that we had for control gadgets back in the day with Fortress. Fortress didn't directly have synergy with the deck, because there's still two opposite archetypes, but you use the gadget advantage to fuel your boss monster. And having a boss monster that we could summon much easier, a more powered up Gear Frame. I mean, please make Peacekeeper good. That's all I'm asking for this. You've got the tools, you've got the know-how to do this. I don't know what would be so hard. Now, as long, and I said this at the beginning of the video, as long as it's better than what this did. Alright, I'm going to continue to reference this really bad gadget support for all time. All you got to do is make Fortress, make a boss monster that is just so bonkers good that we want to play it. Because if gadgets cannot support dual normal summons in the form of Gear Frame and Fortress, giving aspects and giving ways to summon more monsters, more special summons, is definitely something that we have to approach with the deck going forward. Especially if you're making new Machina support, it needs to be able to special summon itself way easier than what we've done. And I mean, you could even make it as simple as send a Fortress from your deck to the graveyard, special summon this, do X effect, and then when it dies, float into the Fortress. I think that would be a good boss monster. Obviously, it's if you give it the same summoning conditions as Fortress, discard one, summon this, send Fortress. That way it at least floats when it leaves the field. I think people really undervalue floatability in this game. In 95% of the situations, it is very broken, and this is one of those situations that you're reviving such a subpar engine at this point that you have to give it broken clauses like this. Now, obviously, make it destroyed or removed by an opponent's card effect, not, when this card leaves the field, because then we're going to just abuse it with the link mechanic, unless that's what you want. That could very much be, the future that we're going towards with this. But really, my first look with Machine Colonel here is, a possibility to send a fortress from deck to graveyard, revive that synergy with that older boss monster, and then have a built-in easy summon clause for the card. And I think we'll go somewhere with this. So, I mean, we still have, what, 4 other cards to be revealed for the future? Future's looking good. I say that now, and then a month later I'm making a video of me crying going, "You betrayed me." Oh, gosh. What do you guys expect out of this? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out. The ride never truly ends. Thank you, patrons, for helping support the channel. Without you guys, I don't know if I'd still be doing this. And for those of you that like Cardfight Vanguard, FanCool40 is here for all your content needs. And those of you asking if I sell cards, mcoolgames.com for all your trading card game needs. Check the description for more interesting info. Thanks for watching, guys.